Bam! Happy Monday, guys. We start a new week, positive minds, and we get going. So I do have a little bit of a thesis I want to speak to you guys about today. I think markets are going to open up red this week. So I think within today, we're going to see some redness in the markets. But I do think by the end of the week, we are going to see some greenness. We're going to be looking for an important pattern. And this pattern is a W pattern. And what it is we have recently made a low last week on Bitcoin, close to around $80,000. I do see us coming down, okay, and making a higher low that I want to speak about. I think the temporary low might possibly be in. We're going to speak about it in the show. I do think there is a upside push that's going to happen first, and then we'll see if there's more downside from there. The next thing I also really want to speak about today as well is the timing of how long are we going to wait until we see a real move to the upside? Are we about to go into depression? I think that's a very important thing to speak about. Is this market going to go into boringness? Right? You got to remember, after big dumps, boringness is what comes through. And how can we kind of set ourselves up long-term portfolio-wise for that specific period? Then on the other side is how can we trade that and use that range? Because again, for me, that is trader's heaven, right? When the markets are just doing this, you know, you're getting 2-3 trades a week. Okay, they're a lot easier, okay, than a raging bull market, and we can build a lot specifically in those times. So short time frame, I think it's an opportunity for us to get a very good trading streak this week. I see very good entries on the W pattern. I want to speak about that and specifically which tokens I am trading. Let's get the timing right of how long mentally can we prepare our brains for when we're going to see a real move to the upside. Let's speak about the lows. And then I want to show you guys a couple of very cool tools that I've been working on over the last little while, as I do feel we can really get into rhythm in this current market. While the rest of the market's flaking out, we're going to rise nice and strong. So guys, I missed you all. Heads up nice and strong. Let's have a strong week. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like sniper. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
God, what's happening, guys? Let's start off Monday with some vibes. I have 3 Bitfunders to give you guys right now. Let's start the show off like that. Then what I want to show you guys. I've obviously been trading as much as I can, right? I had a bit of a patch, but this is still where the Blofin account's sitting since we started tracking it together around 6 weeks ago. You could see that as it stands right now, I'm still very much up. $50,000 on the account, which is good, okay? But up around 100 and, where's the percentage? 224%, I'm still up in that last patch. Do you see this big drop though? This happened last week, right? This actually happened when I was on the airplane and had 0 signal, but I was a smart person and decided to open trades knowing I wasn't going to be able to monitor them. So I deserved that. Okay, I deserve my butt to get smashed, and I think I did end up losing up to 50% of the account in that time. That's when we saw that fast drop-off happen very quickly. Okay, I got in. I managed to stop at my halfway, so I think we stopped at Frankfurt. I got in again, so that was 2 or 3 big stop-loss hits. Okay, and because the market dropped quickly, you kind of lose a little bit more than what was anticipated, right? Then I locked my brain and I said, okay, Sheldon, naughty boy, you want to go and lose your money like that? No problem. Now you ain't going to sleep, buddy. Okay, and then I had to sit up and trade over the last couple of days. We made it back around about 5 days later, okay? And now we're sitting basically close to the all-time high of the account. Right. So I want to speak a lot around this journey within the show as well to just show you that, hey, we can use this current market. Okay. These drops kind of do happen. This was me being very irresponsible, and I shouldn't have allowed myself to lose that much risk. But again, I do love that I have that side as well, that when my butt gets whooped, all that basically disappears is my time afterwards, because now I can use my skill and go get it back. But the truthful matter of it is we don't actually want to work hard, right? I don't want to stare at screens 24/7, okay? But I do have that weapon in my pocket, right? If I ever need to, desperate, I need to survive. And again, this is why I keep encouraging you to get through this moment right now, to get through the market right now, and to get through the next couple of months to years within this journey, because it's still cool that I have that weapon, right? It's still cool that I can go to 0, touch wood. I never want to again, but I do sleep better at night knowing that when things get wiped, I do have the skill and ability to get it back up, right? And that should really be something that should motivate you today to keep pushing forward and keep going. So this has been my journey. I'll speak about that a little bit later on. But let's do some giveaways first. So let's start off with some Bitfunded. So remember, guys, Bitfunded, there's a couple days left, and you will not get the special again, right? We have the Black Friday promo. You buy 3, you get 3 for free, right? Plus, you get 100% profit split. Huge, right? So any of the accounts that you pass, 100% profits. That's massive, right? So again, you have all of these over here. Let's just go through to the challenges. Okay, so if you buy 3, let's go through step 1 evaluation. So here, if you buy $300 worth of the first package, you get $600 worth. These do not expire. You get to keep them, right? And at any point, markets are tanking, you have an account that you can pass a level and have more capital than what you got. You play 99, you pass 1 level, you get to trade at $5,000, right? And so on. Again, this works for the same. If you buy this package, which is $1,000, you buy 3 of them, you get a 3 for free on that. They don't expire. So you could see here, okay, what I'm specifically doing is I'm just going to load up the accounts and have them here, right? If I ever need them and when I'm ready to use them, okay, they are here and they are loaded. So I'm going to give away a couple of these over here. Let's give away some of these over here, which is the $99 package. I'll give away 3 to you guys right now. The thing is as well, is if I choose, because again, I'm giving away the whole week, right? I'm paying for these. They're taking it off my tab, right? If you already have a package, I'll give you another one on top of that, right? So not only will I give it to you, if you already have a package or you've bought a package, you will get another one on top of that. The Troll Roller Coaster, you can have a Bitfunded account. Yes, let's go. Who else? Who else? Let's go. Proxima. I'm broke ass. I need some fun, Sheldino. Okay, got you. Go make millions. You got it. Don't quit. Keep going. Okay, next one. Let's go. Okay, I am red as a what? Red. Okay, I am gonna attempt, but yes, sir, you get a Bitfunded account over here. Email below in the description. Okay, send through there. Prove that that's you. Okay, and we go. Get me back into 𝗧𝗏𝗱𝗏. Don't worry, 𝗧𝗏𝗱𝗏's free, baby. 𝗧𝗏𝗱𝗏 is free, guys. Go join the list. We are starting people in tomorrow. People are coming through. I would say by the end of next week, we'll probably have everyone on the list in. So again, 𝗧𝗏𝗱𝗏 is now free. The best club in the damn world is free, right? To Black Friday. Everyone else charges. No, the way you get in is a 𝗏𝗏𝗱 account. Link below in the description. You can only get in with my 𝗏𝗏𝗱 account. You open there, you deposit, you will get accepted into 𝗧𝗏𝗱𝗏 for free. If you don't want to do that, you can pay $129 to get in. Your choice. My goal here is to make things free. So this is here. So yes, you can get into club. No problem. Okay, then one more thing. Let's have a look. Where am I? I'm at $72,000, right? So I want to grow this account even more. I want to get to, guys, you know what my dream is here? Like, I want to be giving away hundreds of $1,000s in the next like 2-3 months. Like I want to build this account and give this money away, right? So, and we're going to do a lot of cool stuff with the content. But for today's sake, okay, I want to leave the account at 70,000. Okay, I will also give $2,000 away at the end of the stream. Hard-earned USDT. You can withdraw it. You can do whatever you want with it. It is real moolah, right? If you have a 𝗏𝗏𝗱 account, I'll show you here in the description. Go below. Open up a 𝗏𝗏𝗱 account. Okay, if you have a 𝗏𝗏𝗱 account over here and you've deposited, right? I'm going to be choosing, I will give away, let's do $500 to 4 people. So if you just have an account, you get $250. If you've deposited, we'll make it $500. 4 people will get $500 𝗏𝗏𝗱. There's the link. Let's go. Guys, markets are tough. We got to give away. We got to keep each other going here, right? It's important. Okay, so first step over here is weekly charts on Bitcoin. As you could see, the big telling signs here was the candle finished half candle, half wick, very much indicating that the start of this week was going to start off red, right? So it's quite clear now. I do see the start off going to be red, okay? And then we want to speak about once this liquidity is grabbed, because we did eventually get a basic low right now, right? We did end up going down to $80,000 and we did bounce to 86, 87,000. So we have had a temporary bounce, right? And the next drop where we drop into this area is going to tell us if there is buying power here or not, because what we are waiting for now is buying power. Okay, I said it last week. I'll say it again. We have not seen the bull side of the story, right? It feels, okay, and I'm not going to lie, it feels like we're sitting in court and we'll be seeing a divorce here and we've just heard the man side of the story, right? That's what it feels like. And now everyone's like, this woman's terrible. This woman's this. Da, 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 da. Come on, man. Bitcoin has broken highs for years and years and years. Markets have rocketed up. And now we are sitting there just taking the one side of the dude, right? No, the woman's still got to speak, right? I used men first there, so I didn't get to, you know what I'm saying, right? But nonetheless, okay, the next team still has to speak. We still have to have the bull's response. Then we can judge, right? Because again, if I tell you this now and I say, guys, okay, this is where we're at, okay, things are quite bearish, right? And next week we have a candle like that. What are you all going to say? Well, what everyone going to say, right? Everyone's going to be screwed if that happens. And that's why it's important for us to make sure that we are not just predicting and choosing one side. Yes, the fight is good, right? The testament is very good. There's strength here, okay? But we have not seen the other side too. And what's also important here is to kind of see if we get a higher low here, right? Important. So again, week starts off red, but then I am seeing a little bit of relief. Okay, I do see this market actually putting in a positive response, okay, to just get a little bit of that hope. Once that happens and we see where we land up, we're really then going to have a tough question. The first one is going to be, should we offload some long-term bag, right? Because we might be sitting here for a couple of weeks, right? And if prices will go lower and Bitcoin decides to go to 70,000, right, should we actually offload some of the portfolio? Right? That's going to be one of the hardest days. You feel sick to your stomach, but we have to ask ourselves a question. We are definitely not asking ourselves a question right now, though. Right? When I've seen multiple red candles, it's terrible. It's just one thing that I've learned, 101, don't panic sell when the panic sell's already happened. Right? If we were here debating at 110, sure, you can debate that question. But when we're down already 30%, 35% from the highs, right, to sit and say I'm going to offload right now, not yet. So what we're looking for now and what I think is going to happen, right? And again, I'll paint both scenarios out so we are ready for it. But I do think this candle is going to start off red. Okay, I do think we're going to capture liquidity, go a little bit of a higher low. And I do think there's a good chance Bitcoin is sitting at around $95,000 to $100,000 in this week, right? Why? Is because there is a lot of liquidity sitting at $95,000. There is a lot of shorts to be hit right now. The market is just something that does not care about your feelings. It wants money, right? And the way where the market is going to make money today, okay, or this week, okay, is definitely not just going down, 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 right? It's going to go chase the shorts, okay, which for me is telling me that when we have this next kind of little higher low now, right, or lower low, we'll speak about that in a sec, okay, I do see the response being quite aggressive. Okay, and remember, it's very likely not going to be a real pump for the high time frame. So for us to say all of our long-term bags are going to recover, right, I don't think that bounce is here yet. We will speak about the timing of when I think that happens, right? But ultimately now, I think there is going to be a trap to the upside. Then we are going to make the decision, do we offload a bit? But as well as what can we trade and make money on that upside push over there, okay? So I'm still very much in belief. If you look at this dominance over here at the bottom here, there's two options that's going to happen with this, the stochastic, sorry. Okay, there's two options. Either something does happen over the next few months and we do end up making our way back, right? But the other one is we actually sit here for a little while longer. So again, that temporary bounce that I spoke about, we sit here a bit longer and then we look for the markets to really get going. Remember, when this market has been, when it's sat in the red enough, we're going to see pump again, guys. And we're going to see bull legs to the upside. And remember, the other chart we're paying attention to is obviously the Bitcoin dominance, right? And this chart also finished off quite bearish last week. It's also telling us very likely we're going to see downside, and we lost important trends as well 2 weeks back. So we should see some nice strength and a good, strong bounce within the total 3, right? Here's total 3. The good sign is we are getting near the bottom of finishing and building the liquidity from that wick. Right. The next thing that's quite positive as well with the total 3 is it's actually a lot closer to breaking out than what Bitcoin is. Okay, so I want to speak about this for a second. If we look at the real breakout on Bitcoin, right, this is the timing. So I'm going to go to the timing aspect of when do I think Bitcoin is possibly going to push to the highs again, or we're really going to have a strong push within Bitcoin again, right? And that's, for me, the trend line becomes very simple. Is to basically go from the top and say, okay, where did this dump kind of start? There was the high, there was the lower high, right? And that's the initial trend. So for me, that is the trend. When the day we break or the week we break this trend, Bitcoin's really going to go for it again, right? Maybe here, maybe a little bit lower. It doesn't matter, right? But the problem we're sitting with today is we are sitting with a big gap to that trend line. Okay, which for me right now as it stands, unless there is a massive news event or something that kind of changes something, if we just look at normal price action, we're probably not going to see a Bitcoin breakout for at least the next 40 days, right? A real one. I'm talking one that can go back to the highs again, right? So if I see that, I need to just know that right now, majority of my attention is what can I do short-term and mid-term to make money in this market, right? I got my conviction, I got my things, and the only time I'll debate should I get out of my portfolio is when we back up to this trend, right? Then we can decide. But until then, what can I do? So again, for me, I'm back into the trading. I'm into the funded accounts now. I'm into a couple of the bots. I'm doing a couple of things that I can do in the interim to use this range to make money, right? To build my accounts, to do something when no one is doing anything, right? Over here. But realistically, guys, next 40 days is when we can see a real breakout. Now, the exciting part, though, is the alts are a lot closer. Okay, so this is why we must not, if I had to say, guys, this big dump that happened on the 10th of October and the crash we've seen recently and these things, if we had to go through that, I had to paint the picture now and say, guys, we had to go through that, okay, for alt season to happen, right? Would we hate it as much? Probably not. Right now we hate it, okay, but always just pay attention. We never know. It might have just ignited exactly what we've been waiting for, and we had to flush the market out first before we got there. Right? Get those out that are here to just use the system for money versus those who are true believers, right? I truly believe those who are watching right now, over 2,000 of you, right? I truly believe that you guys are here for the skill. You're actually here to change your life, right? The others I feel are flaky, right? Those friends that kind of come when you got money, and when you don't have money, then they're not there, right? Type of thing. You guys are here. You guys are stronger than ever, okay? And the exciting thing here is if we look at alts, this one says we're breaking out in the next 14 to 20 days, right? So that is something to look forward to today, to say that, hey, have your long-term altcoin bags in, right? Build them up, leave a little bit of cash if you got, but just have conviction in your altcoin bags, your long-term bags, because we are a lot closer to an altcoin breakout versus a Bitcoin breakout, right? And remember, when we saw true alt season many times, we didn't actually have the most bullish Bitcoin in the world. If that dominance drops off and alts are there, things are strong, right? So as you go through a bunch of your altcoins on the weekly, okay, you'll get an idea. So Solana is not one of those tokens that I'm seeing a full all-time high breakout yet, right? But as you go down the list and you start to see, right, something, just an example, Dash. Dash is really not one of my favorite altcoins, but I've been trading it because things, but that one's a little bit closer. That one's 2 weeks, right? And you can get a bit of an understanding. If you go look at Cardano here, this one's also not too far, right? So it'll give you a bit of a hint of what's kind of closer to breakout versus what's not, right? A little bit of urgency behind your buys and what you are accumulating in these times. Okay, then the next thing I also just want to show you here before we jump onto the actual plays of Bitcoin, right? It's just because I'm saying that there's 42 days or 40 days of Bitcoin till we see a real breakout does not mean we're not going to get bounces, right? It does very much mean we are going to get bounces. It's just telling you don't fully trust them, right? So if you're taking some trades and positions now to capitalize on the next bounce, like we said, relief bounce to the upside, right? It's quite important that maybe you take some profits on those. That's why for me, when I started shifting, into the not holding trades for too long, moving to tokens that are strong, right? I can very much see a difference in my P&Ls and my percentages that I'm seeing growth, right? Versus, kind of using the old software. I was holding trades for too long, building the leverages too much and not getting out. I was kind of sinking ship the whole time, making all this money, giving it all back, right? So the more you just understand that plays a role. So again, what this chart currently indicates to me, okay, and I'm talking high time frame now, is we are a little bit far from the momentum. So for me, we're going to go test that momentum at some point. Okay, so the bounce is quite easy within this week. Within next week is we get our butts up here to $95,000 to $100,000 Bitcoin. Then I see another rejection. Then I see a breakout. Okay, when we get here though, there is two plays: the higher low or the lower low. Right? Maybe we do go down and test the previous all-time highs at 73,000, but that is a question and a topic where pay attention when we get to that trend. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for something to ride up here. Then we're looking for the real breakout a little bit later. This is when I'll deploy a lot of long-term bots, a lot of lower leverage positions. Until then, I am not doing any of that other than trading the market. Okay, let's jump into where we are with Bitcoin. I see a W pattern in play. I am right now at this point where I think the market needs to go up rather than going more down. Okay, we've seen multiple. So again, I've zoomed in now, guys. I'm talking now for the week, right? And for the next 24 hours, 48 hours. Okay, so as it stands right now, we've seen a bit of a bounce. I knew it wasn't that strong. Reason is because we are making this pattern. You know, when let me just show you guys. You know, when we drop and then we do this, we know this is bearish, right? So the problem now is we started breaking the bottom. So it means that it's a continuation. But that gives us a perfect opportunity, okay, for these different patterns to play out. And I want to speak about them before I show you guys on the charts over here. So if we have been coming down, right, for a while, you got to remember there's a big trend that's tracking that all down, right? Now we have started to have a bit of a push to the upside, and we are at that trend line. Okay, so there's two options here. The first one is to break through, okay, which for me, the pattern would be quite important. So something like this for me is bullish to break through. Okay, where we went up, we rejected, we came down, and we think. But instead, we just went slowly up like this. That for me is bearish. Okay, so give me a good idea with the weekly time frame candle that we are going to reject. Okay, now what we're looking for is we are sitting here, is we are looking for a drop, and the W pattern will play out. W pattern is a W, right? There's two ways that it plays out. The first one is the one that I think is going to happen, is the higher low. Because when we were coming down, we're making lower highs, lower lows all the way through. Okay, now what we're looking for is the higher low. Okay, and the break of that big trend there will be the signal. So this is the first one that I'm paying attention to. The second one is the lower low W. Right? That's because if anyone that bought here, for example, they have a stop loss over here. Right? So if price wants to do that, it's there to literally hunt the stop losses. However, I feel the market has gone through enough personally for the short time frame. I think it's been too much, too far, right? With hurting the short-term bulls, okay? That I feel that the market is going to put in a higher low. So what I'm looking for now is here, higher low, and we push for that short squeeze, go capture the liquidity, and then we start trickling down from there. This is quite a bit of good opportunities. So let's go back to the Bitcoin chart and show you guys. Let's go through. Guys, get the likes up. I'll do some more giveaways at the end. Okay. So let's go over here. So the first sign that I'm showing you guys was we lost that trend, right? Indicating for me market's ready to come down. Okay. Now what we're looking for is we're actually looking for price to come pretty similar to the lows here. Okay, which is the 60 to 70% mark drop off. So there's one bit of support. Bitcoin might bounce at 85. Okay, we'll see. But as I'm seeing now, probably a drop down to 84, 83. Then I see a big rocket ship. So as this is coming down now, it might take 24 hours for it to come down. I don't know if the longs are exactly today. They'll be ready either later today or tomorrow. Okay, and you know what? That's fine. Rather catch the real breakout than trying to jump too early, right? But I'm going to track that down. When that breaks through, we push through. After that, I see a push up to 88, and I see a short squeeze up to 97,000, right? Over here, 97. And this is what I think could happen this week. I just feel that that is where the market's going to make the most money. And that's why I feel that because we've seen so much red, we tend to see when the move happens that it's going to happen quite fast and aggressive. Okay, so that's the push up over there. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, we will see where we're at. There is a scenario. Maybe Bitcoin wants to go to 79. If so, then that's what it looks like. Okay, when it comes to the dominance, okay, dominance actually looking pretty weak. I actually think it's going to spike up a little bit if Bitcoin goes a bit lower, but I do see the exits. Looks like dominance maybe just wants to drop over the next couple of weeks, right? It's well-deserved in my opinion, but that's not in Bitcoin's favor, which is a good sign. Okay, when it comes to total 3, which is altcoins, what I'm seeing here is a drop-off and then a push to the upside. I also gave you guys my views on what I do think altcoins do. I might be the only one left in the market that's saying this, but that is currently where my head's at, but I'm not making that decision until this main trend line's broken. So for now, a push to the trend line. So let's go through what that looks like on a bunch of altcoins. Okay, so here, if we look at Solana, right? I'm looking, and this is what I'm preparing for. This is why I exited my trade yesterday. I was winning, but we started to lose the trend. I got out, right? Now I'm looking for a buy at 125, 126, and then I'm looking for a push up to $150. That is where I'll TP out any of these positions. Now, to make it quite simple for you guys, you've got two choices here, right? You know the hot zone. So let me just draw the zone again of where we can bounce. I don't need to predict that. Okay, so if I zoom in, I can very much go and track this move to the downside. When it breaks the trend, take the long, right? If I want to be a little bit more conservative and make sure that it is, I can go back to the next trend line and wait for that to break. And that one's telling you only to enter probably by Wednesday, right? Me personally, and again, this just works on your time tolerance. If you have a lot of work to do this week, this is the trend line. If you have time to stare at charts, okay, you can zoom in and catch the earlier trend line. The only benefit between the two, right, is because they're both not really, the problem with this one is it might do something like this and play around a bit, right? Okay, but the pro of that is if you buy here and it goes up and it breaks here, you can update your stop loss earlier and possibly build your leverage bigger, quicker than the person that's waiting for it to break here. Other than that, they're both strong. And to be honest, the stronger trend line is the 4-hour high time frame trend line. Okay, so it all depends on your time and your risk appetite of where you're at right now. Let's talk about ETH. We don't speak about ETH enough. I do want to speak about ETH. So again, the bearishness that I saw here was this. It was a continuation pattern. Okay, but same thing. ETH down to the areas around 2.7, and then I am seeing a push up to 3.132. Right, so again, if you go through and you pop in the trends, let's see if we can find a nice trend on ETH. Okay, again, which trend is right? The one of the most touches. Okay, so there's a very good trend line. Take the one on the 17th of November, the 19th of November, the 20th of November, and the top that we've made, you get a 4-touch trend line. That will be the breakout trend for you. Or you can buy the 618, which is at 2.7. If this happens, guys, remember, I do not go all in here. I will enter around 30% of the position here. Okay, and I'll put a stop loss below. The key here is just to get something in. When it breaks here, that is when I will execute and enter more into the position and the trade. As we go down the list, let's see if there's anything interesting. Cardano is one to pay attention to. Just want to get you guys the trends here. Not very far. Look at that. Nice 5-touch trend line. So this one, very much by tomorrow, can be ready. Remember, these are purely to get in, make your money, get out, okay, and then we will get ready for the next. We'll possibly short, right, if we get up there. I don't want to short now. Short's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to get into habit of right now. It looks like AVAX is also pretty close to the trends. Let's see where we're at. Let's just get this trending correctly. Dun, 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 dun. Not bad. Also, there looks like AVAX will be one of the stronger hits as well in those areas. Maddie, what's my likes on there, brother?
We're currently at 246.
Come on, get it up, get it up, get it up. Move, move, move. I know markets are terrible, but we warriors, we fight through these things. It's how the game works. Okay, guys, so then again, I will give you 24 hours. We don't have enough likes. I'll give you 24 hours. Tomorrow, I'm giving away $2,000 on a Blowfin. You have time today, okay, to get a Blowfin account. Here, go get a Blowfin account. Deposit if you want to get 500 versus 250. Okay, and tomorrow I will give away $2,000 to you guys. Then I have a very cool promotion for those who have BTC and those who are looking for an exchange account as well. Remember, this exchange account, you can trade tokenized stocks as well. I'm going to be choosing someone to win a Rolex in a bear market, right? Get that right. Rolex in a bear market, right? Over here. There are great sign-up bonuses, right? Exclusive benefits for the first time. You get a bonus, okay? What's it? The deposit bonus on your first deposit of over $500. Amazing, right? There's bonus up to $10,000 is on this exchange as well, as 40% lowering trading fees as well. Anyone that opens up here, okay, BTCC, I will be giving away a Rolex in this week. Open up, deposit any amount, okay? Take your first trade, and I'll be choosing from the list. Guys, heads up. This week, what are we looking forward to? We need to take a Bitfunder challenge together. We need to unlock Bitfunded money, right? That is very important. We need to get a good trading streak going with some leverage, right? Leverage spots, doesn't matter. Let's make some money back, which is very important. And I think we need to do a live trading session as well. Spend some time together and rocket it. Okay, guys, have a great day. See you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.